Southern Cal at Texas. Boy, this game doesn't seem nearly as exciting as it did the week before the season started. Ohio State at TCU. And can Boise State knock off Oklahoma State? We're going to talk about those three games. I'll give you previews and predictions, as well as every other game within the top 25 this week in college football. Let's go.
I'm just a little bit perturbed.
Hey, good morning. It's Uncle Lou here. Yeah, that's right. It's me, Uncle Lou, and I'm live for you on LouTube today. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it also. And two, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I post college football videos almost every single day of the year. A lot of them are even watchable. Thumbs up this video if you're excited about some of these top 25 games this week. We're going to cover them all in this video. As usual, all of my preview and prediction videos this season are sponsored by the good people over at betnow.eu. There's a link in the description of this video. Click that link. It'll take you right over there. They'll take care of you for all your college football betting needs. They've even given me a promo code to let you guys use. So when you get signed up over at betnow.eu, make sure you enter the promo code Uncle Lou, one word, all lowercase letters, Uncle Lou, and they're going to give you a 100% sign-up bonus on your deposit. Good luck. All right, now here we go. And per usual, I'm going to run through these games in chronological order. So we're going to start with the noon games, and we're going to work our way all the way down through the prime time games. Of course, I did all the SEC games yesterday, so there won't be any SEC teams covered in this video. If you want to check out the SEC preview for this week, click this link right here. It'll take you to yesterday's video. All of the odds, lines, and spreads that I mentioned in this video come straight from betnow.eu, and they're accurate as of 8:45 a.m. this morning. All right, let's go. Starting off this week with number 5, Oklahoma on the road at Iowa State. This game comes on noon at ABC, and Oklahoma is a 17-point favorite. Of course, this is one of the most shocking games of the year last year, right? Iowa State went into Norman and knocked off Oklahoma. Big shock, one of the hugest or biggest upsets of the season. Iowa State's coach, Matt Campbell, a hot name in coaching circles right now. Iowa State got a running back that's pretty good too, although he's off to a slow start. Iowa State sitting at 0-1 right now. Of course, Oklahoma 2-0. Iowa State lost to in-state rival Iowa last week. Oklahoma just completely road graded UCLA. Oklahoma's offense has looked unstoppable through the first couple of weeks. Iowa State did not look impressive at all against Iowa. Can Iowa State do the impossible? Can they do it again? Can they knock off Oklahoma for the second year in a row? They get them at home this year. Can they do it? No. No. They're not beating Oklahoma, and they're not coming anywhere close to within 17 either. Give me Oklahoma and lay to 17. All right, Kent State on the road at 11th ranked Penn State. This game comes on noon. Fox Sports 1. Penn State with a huge win last week over Pittsburgh, just completely overwhelmed them after a disappointing start to the season in week 1 for Penn State against Appalachian State, where they survived a real scare there. Kent State sitting at 1-1. They can't compete with Penn State. And not sure why anybody would be watching this game. Penn State's a 35-point favorite. That seems like a lot of points. I think Penn State came out last week with something to prove, trying to shut all the people up who were down on them after their poor performance against App State. Not sure they can get as motivated this week with really not much to prove against an inferior opponent like Kent State. I would probably stay away from this game because I don't think Kent State is any good, and it wouldn't surprise me, to be honest, if Penn State wins this game 45-0 or something like that. But if you're going to make me pick a side, which obviously you are, give me Kent State and I'll take the 35. All right, and of course, several games this weekend have been canceled / postponed. Probably all of them just going to be canceled. UCF was scheduled to play at North Carolina. That game has been canceled. ECU was scheduled to play at 13th ranked Virginia Tech. That game has been canceled. And I believe there was one more, West Virginia at NC State. That game has also been canceled. I was looking forward to watching that one, West Virginia at NC State. NC State's got a pretty good defense. It would have been nice to see Will Grier go up against that. Not going to see any defenses once he starts his Big 12 schedule. But anyway, it looks like those 3 games are canceled and probably not going to get rescheduled. All right, number 21, Miami goes on the road to to take on Toledo. Miami ranked 21. This game noon, ESPN2. Miami is a 10-point favorite in this one. Miami got absolutely embarrassed week 1 neutral site game against LSU. I mean, just absolutely embarrassed. Didn't show up. Never got off the bus. Didn't look prepared. Terrible quarterback play. Defense got taken advantage of by what can only be considered to be an average LSU offense. I mean, they do have that quarterback, Burrow from Ohio State. The guy's completing 45% of his passes. It's not like he's an elite QB, and he just made Miami look silly. They go on the road to take on Toledo. Miami, of course, 1-1 after blowing out a nobody at home last week. Toledo also sits at 1-0. Miami only a 10-point favorite in this one. It's on the road. Toledo can score some points if Miami's not careful. I refuse to believe Miami can't beat Toledo by 10, though. I understand they look bad in week 1. You have to understand Mark Richt has a history of this over the last 15 years, whether it be Georgia or Miami just not showing up for big games. This isn't a big game at all. No reason Miami won't show up for this one. Give me the U and lay them 10 points. All right, UC Davis at number 9, Stanford. This one, 2 o'clock, Pac-12 network. No line on this game. This will be a runaway. They'll probably put a line out a little later in the week. Stanford, of course, 2-0. UC Davis, 2-0. Don't let the records fool you. UC Davis, they can't compete with Stanford. Stanford will win this game by a lot to a little. All right, now here's one to keep an eye on here for a couple of different reasons. Georgia Southern on the road at Clemson, taking on the Taters. Clemson ranked 2nd. This game comes on 3:30 ESPN2. Clemson is a 33-point favorite over Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern has 2 blowout wins over below-average teams. Clemson, of course, 2-0, beat a nobody week 1. Struggle bus win on the road last week at Texas A&M. Came down to the wire there, winning by 2. What's up with the Hurricane? Not sure if this game's going to end up being postponed, canceled, delayed, moved, starting time changed, whatever. But if it's raining, I think that works to Georgia Southern's advantage, at least in terms of covering the spread. I don't expect Georgia Southern to win this game, let's just be real. But 33 points seems like a lot in a game that could be real sloppy if it gets wet. Give me Georgia Southern, but I'm definitely going to need those 33 points, though. Yeah. Here's an interesting one, at least to me. BYU at 6th-ranked Wisconsin. This one comes on 3:30 on ABC. Wisconsin is a 21-point favorite in this one. Now, you might be thinking, well, it's BYU. Listen, BYU is a Power 5 team, according to 3 of the 5 conferences. The Pac-12, the Big 10, and the Big 12 consider BYU a Power 5 team for scheduling purposes. BYU, terrible last year. Off to a 1-1 start this year. How'd they lose to Cal? I'm not sure. Wisconsin has been on a roll. Jonathan Taylor looks unstoppable. He's got close to 400 yards already through the first 2 games, averaging close to 8 yards a carry. BYU will not be able to stop him. 21 points is not enough, in my opinion, with this being at Wisconsin. This isn't an FCS school. This isn't a lower classification school that Wisconsin, I think, could get caught napping on. Like I said, they consider these teams Power 5 teams. Wisconsin will come out ready to go. This is the best team Wisconsin's played yet, in my opinion. I think Wisconsin will roll. I'll lay the 21. Give me the Fighting Jonathan Taylors. Upset special right here. Boise State ranked 17th on the road at Oklahoma State, ranked 24th. Boise State ranked way ahead of Oklahoma State, but Oklahoma State's a 2.5-point favorite at home. This game comes on 3:30 at ESPN. Georgia plays a night game this week. This is probably going to be the game I watch at 3:30. I mean, I always flip around, but this will be the one I'm paying attention to. I think Boise State wins this game. I'm a believer in Boise State. They've looked good their first 2 weeks. Oklahoma State really hasn't played anybody yet. Yes, they're 2-0. They lost Mason Rudolph. I do like Justice Hill. Look, Justice Hill's an elite running back. He's a little undersized, but the guy's quick as lightning. Got video game type moves. I like Justice Hill. But Boise State, I know Chris Peterson's in Washington now, but Boise State didn't skip a beat, did they, when they lost him? They're right back to dominating teams week in and week out. I would like this a lot better for Boise State if it was on the Smurf turf, the blue grass. I mean, you can't even watch that on TV, can you? I mean, that'd give you a headache. You have to put on some of those polarized glasses or whatever that change the color of stuff. I can't watch that. It just gives me a headache. So this is at Oklahoma State, though. I'm gonna take the 2.5 points just in case this ends up being like a 31-30 type game or something like that. But I actually think Boise State wins this game outright. So if you're feeling froggy, just take Boise State on the money line and make yourself some extra money. But yeah, I'm gonna take Boise State in the 2.5 points in an upset here. All right, a terrible SMU team at an average number 19th ranked Michigan. This one 3:30 on the Big Ten Network. Michigan is a 35-point favorite. 35 points is a lot of points for Michigan to give somebody. And can they score 35? Yeah, they can. I mean, they look bad against Notre Dame. Not Shea Patterson. I mean, listen, I don't know if I'm a glutton for punishment or what. I was high on Michigan all offseason. One of the biggest disappointments, them in Texas. So disappointing to me so far this year. Maybe I am a glutton for punishment. I think Michigan pours it on SMU. SMU's 0-2. They can't get out of their own way. They don't have the horses to compete with Michigan. Michigan can win this game by 35 without question. It's going to be a matter of if Jim Harbaugh decides to take the foot off the gas on offense or not. I don't think SMU offensively is going to be able to do much of anything at all day against Michigan's defense. I don't like this game. I'm not in love with this pick, but give me Michigan, and I'll give the 35. All right, San Jose State on the road at number 20 ranked Oregon. This one, 5 o'clock, Pac-12 Network. Oregon's a 41-point favorite. Harkening back to the days of Chip Kelly when he used to score 60 and 70 points a game, and it with this 41-point line. San Jose State is terrible, 0-2. Oregon, of course, is undefeated. When are we going to find out about Oregon? The Pac-12 is going to start to shake itself out here this week. We got Washington and Utah plays this weekend, too. We'll get to that game here in just a minute. The Pac-12 is going to start to shake itself out here. Arizona State looks a lot better than we thought. Arizona looks a lot worse than we thought. Southern Cal has already lost to Stanford, so Stanford's got a leg up there. Washington, of course, took a loss week 1 to Auburn, but it was a close loss, and most people tell you Auburn's a top 10 team, so Washington should still be really good. Utah's undefeated. It's sort of a jumbled mess right now in the Pac-12. No clear-cut favorite. I think Washington is still the favorite, but there are some other teams I think that have a chance in the Pac-12 right now. You're not going to find out anything about Oregon this week. They will absolutely dominate San Jose State. This is a lot of points here. I'm going to take Oregon and give the 41. I think Oregon scores in the 60s in this game. How about number 4 ranked Ohio State at number 15th ranked TCU? Both teams 2-0, 8 o'clock, ABC. Ohio State is a 13-point favorite in this one. Of course, this is the last game for Ohio State without Urban Meyer. He'll come back for the game next week. He was able to be with the team all week during practice this week. He just can't show up on the sideline. Will that have any effect? It hasn't had any effect so far through the first 2 weeks for Ohio State. They've been scoring at will, putting up 50, 60, and 70 points a game. Defense has had some question marks, admittedly, giving up 31 to Oregon State. And let's be real, yes, Oregon State and Rutgers are Power 5 teams. They're 2 of the worst 5 Power 5 teams in America. They're absolutely horrible, okay, both Rutgers and Oregon State. So just because Ohio State beat the hell out of them doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot to me. I mean, you can say the same thing about TCU. They haven't played much stiff competition either, but they've dominated the teams that they have played. Most people consider this to be the game of the week, either this or LSU and Auburn. How's this one going to go? During the offseason, I was not high on TCU. Now, I will admit they have looked better than what I thought they would look. I was high on Ohio State in the offseason. I did pick Wisconsin to win the Big Ten, but I picked Ohio State to win the eastern side of the division and meet Wisconsin in the Big Ten title game. So, you know, Ohio State was loaded. I was high on them. I'm going to go with my initial offseason gut instinct here that Ohio State is a better team than TCU. I'm going to believe what my eyes have shown me about Ohio State's offense the last 2 weeks. I'm going to take Ohio State and lay the 13. I do not think TCU offensively can keep up with what Ohio State has been doing this year on the offensive side of the ball. And I'm not sold yet on TCU's defense. I know TCU has a reputation of being the one team in the Big 12 that actually plays defense. Texas kind of in that conversation now too, especially last year. I just can't see them containing Ohio State. I don't see any way Ohio State scores in the 20s in this game. I think Ohio State probably wins this game somewhere in the 37 to 17 type range, 37 to 20, something like that. Give me the wife beating suck nuts. and lay to 13 points. What a letdown this game here is. I mean, from off-season game of the year type hype, right, to who really cares? Southern Cal at Texas. Southern Cal ranked 22nd. Texas not ranked because you lost to Maryland and made Uncle Lou look like a complete fool for the second year in a row. Ridiculous. Why is Texas a 3-point favorite in this game? I guess because it's at home. I don't know. Both teams are 1-1. 8 o'clock on Fox. Listen, I'm not even going to break down this game. I'm not picking Texas. I've told you that I'm not doing it. Give me Southern Cal. I'll take the points. I mean, listen, take Southern Cal on the money line, making some extra money. Texas is a terrible team. I'm done trying to hype them up. Texas can find a different YouTube idiot to hype them up. I'm done. Here's another game. I mentioned this a little bit earlier that I'm really looking forward to watching this week. Georgia plays at 7:15 against a nobody. This game comes on at 10 o'clock, so the Georgia game will be wrapped up just about by the time this one comes on. But number 10, Washington on the road at Utah. Washington is a 7-point favorite in this one on the road. Washington, of course, 1-1 with the close loss to Auburn. Utah sitting at 2-0. Utah can win this game, period, point blank. Will they? Well, I mean, that remains to be seen. I do think Washington is the better team, but let's just be honest, the better team doesn't always win. I'm not going to run through the whole list of games that prove that, but if you watch college football, you know the better team doesn't always win. Momentum has a lot to do with what happens in games, home field advantages, injuries, whatever. I mean, there's a whole list of reasons why the better team doesn't always win. 7 points on the road to a good Utah team. I'm going to take Utah here in the 7 points. I'm going to be honest here. I'm not sure who's going to win this game. I would not be shocked. This is another upset special here, maybe. I would not be shocked if Utah won this game. Now, Washington has painted itself into a corner by losing to Auburn week 1. I doubt a Pac-12 champion with 2 losses is getting into the playoff. If Washington has any desires or aspirations, which I know they do, to try to be in the playoff conversation or get in the playoffs at the end of this year, they have to win this game. Utah would love to spoil that for them. I'm going to take Utah. Give me the 7 points, though, because I think this is going to be a good game. All right, and last, one of the most surprising teams, I think, in all of college football this year, Arizona State. They dust off this dinosaur Herm Edwards and bring him in the offseason, hire him as head coach. People were scratching their heads. What kind of a move is this? This guy hasn't coached in 10, 15 years, never coached in college. They bring Herm Edwards in. All he does is start out 2-0 and has them ranked now at 23rd. They go on the road at San Diego State. Arizona State is a 5-point favorite. This is the late game on CBS Sports channel. Some of you may not get that. Some of you might. I'm buying. Listen, I was one of the people that was clowning Arizona State when they hired Herm Edwards. I'm not going to lie. And like I mentioned, I think in the opening here, Arizona was getting all the preseason hype, not Arizona State. They brought in Kevin Sumlin. They had Heisman pretender Khalil Tate. No one was talking about Arizona State. Season comes out first couple of weeks. Arizona looks like complete garbage, and Arizona State, like I mentioned, starts off 2-0 with some impressive wins. I'm a buyer. I'm a believer. Give me Arizona State. I'll lay the 5 points. San Diego State's a decent team, sitting at 1-1. I think Arizona State handles business and wins by 7 to 10 points. I'm going to lay the 5. Give me the Sun Devils and the fighting. Is Herm Edwards? You play to win the game. Is that Herm Edwards?
Hello? You play to win the game.
Give me Arizona State. All right, that's all the top 25 games for this week. Like I mentioned, the SEC video was yesterday. Click back if you want to check that one out. Just like I always do, I'm going to give you a couple of picks here that I'm most confident in. These are going to be Lou's locks of the week. I've been doing pretty good so far this season with these locks, too. I was 4-2 last week. Overall for the season, I'm 11-6 in the Uncle Lou locks of the week. So I'm going to give you 2 or 3 games here that I feel the most confident in, and those will be the lock picks of the week for the top 25 games. Oklahoma -17. I'm buying Kyler Murray in the offense. It bothers me a little bit that Rodney Anderson is done for the year, but they've got running backs that can make that up. Trey Sermon, and I forget the other guy's name, are more than capable running backs. They'll get the job done on the road at Iowa State and win by 3 touchdowns plus. Boise State at Oklahoma State. Boise State. Now, Boise State is a 2.5-point underdog in this game. I think they win the game outright. I will take the 2.5 points, though, in case it's close, like a 31-30 type deal. But the second lock of the week, Boise State getting 2.5. All right, and last but not least, the third Uncle Lou lock of the week from the top 25 games. Give me Herm Edwards winning by more than 5 points. I'm buying on the Arizona State Sun Devils. I haven't seen a team in the Pac-12 South that's better than Arizona State. Wouldn't surprise me to see them in the Pac-12 title game this year if they can continue with the way they've started off. San Diego State's got a pretty good defense, but from what I've seen, this game shouldn't be close. Lock of the week number 3. Fighting Herm Edwards, given 5. All right, that's going to do it for the top 25 video this week. I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. I would really appreciate it. Share this video with your friends and give it a thumbs up. It really helps, and I really appreciate it. Today's Wednesday, so we have a live show at 3 o'clock. It's a phone call show, a call-in show. We do it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. If you haven't checked it out, you should. We have a lot of fun on that show, talk college football, and talk a little bit of trash too. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. Tomorrow, I will be previewing all the games that didn't fit into yesterday's or today's video. So like yesterday was SEC, today was top 25. Tomorrow, I'll do all the other games I'm interested in this weekend that don't fit in those 2 categories. Have a good day and an even better morning also in addition to that as well. So.
Hello?
I'm just a little bit perturbed.